Thank you, Tarun. Thank you very much. A lot of people who doesn't know Tarun. Tarun is a CEO and a founder of Avishkar. I always call it Avishkar is a robotic. And if I'm not wrong, I know Tarun almost Tarun now 10 years, right? Yeah,
Yes.
2022, almost more than 10 years now. We met during training at SLP in Delhi, and in that training and even till now, if somebody asks me like most humble person I met, and that's Tarun. A short introduction about Avishkar, and Tarun corrects me if these numbers are okay or not. So Avishkar is the number one educational robotics company in India. Won many awards like NASCOM, New Design Award. You can think about Avishkar as a robotic company 10 years back when nobody was talking AI, nobody was talking about 3D printing, nobody was talking about robotics. So Tarun see that opportunity. And today, standing now, Tarun has Avishkar has partnership with 1,500 plus schools in India. Uh, he's started exporting. 100,000 children across India are actually enjoying his labs or products right now. And most important, 2020, he runs world's biggest robotic coding program, right? What do you call it?
Avishkar League.
So that's Avishkar, and that's Tarun. So Tarun, I'll start with you. Why don't you share your story and your whole journey as Avishkar? But Tarun, over to you, and I'd love to hear your story now.
Thank you, Vinay, and thank you everyone for your time. And just I had these goosebumps that this is Vinay's team that I'm going to talk to. So my story has been fairly simple. I mean, I think Avishkar's story has been the genesis of Avishkar's story is my own story. So Avishkar's story or the goal of Avishkar is to provide next generation tech education, specifically domains like AI, robotics, and coding to young learners from 5 to 15 years old. Um, that's the overarching vision. How we intend to do that is through a combination of hardware kits, software services, live online classes, and a very vibrant community. The reason I started Avishkar was, primarily because of the things that I, as a child, did not get. I mean, I'm sure some of you would be able to understand when I say that, when the time when we were growing up in India, these things like innovation, robotics, coding, or doing something which is not in typical textbooks was not something that was encouraged. Um, I still distinctly remember that some of the best days in my life were during those science exhibitions. So we used to have something called a NCRT science exhibition or a CBSE science exhibition, and those were the best times for me. So those were the days when these things were not really looked upon, and we did not have the opportunities. And while growing up with that baggage, I got a chance to I went to undergraduate, did my computer science from Delhi College of Engineering. Then I went to US, got my master's from University of Washington. Then worked for Microsoft. Get motivated by uh, asking others to enrich those ideas, by showcasing those ideas, by critiquing those ideas. So that's the genesis of Avishkar. That's my story also. So from that perspective, over last 10 years, we have had basically set up these robotics and innovation labs in more than 1,500 schools across the country. We have seen some phenomenal growth year on a year, especially when the schools are open. But then schools got shut, so we again were to back to square one. All the business that we had in a year almost brought to zero because schools were shut and we had no other avenues to sell. So we had to reinvent and repivot and kind of change ourselves and become a direct to consumer company. So from that perspective, what has happened to us is, while from zero schools, we had a presence in 1,500 schools where more than 100,000 plus students were accessing our hardware or using our platform to program the hardware. Close to 50,000 plus students who are participating in our competitions. Our communities were very popular. We are soon going to probably get that tag in Amazon in US. One of the very few companies who exports hardware to India. I mean, not India, we are selling, making any which ways, but export hardwares to China, exports hardware to Mexico, exports hardware to US. So I think by end of this year, we will end up becoming a bestseller in Amazon US also. But if you want to see our products, you can just go to Amazon India and search for Avishkar or search for robotics kits and you will come get an answer. We have close to 10,000 students who undertook our programs, whether AI course, robotics course, coding course, in just last 1 year. So journey has been tumultuous, with many challenges. Making hardware in India is a big challenge in itself. And then, the fact that almost business became zero revenue in the month of April 2020, and now coming back to the same revenue level, but from a different selling model, that is consumer.
Lovely, Tarun. You shared you reinvent every 2 to 3 years, and one of the reinvention was done during this COVID days when it hit and you had to repivot everything. And I'm more curious, like how you identify that you need a change as an organization, as a person, both ways. So how you pinpoint, hey, this is the time to change now.
So I think, I mean, those are two different questions, but the genesis is similar. So as an organization, you're continuously, so organization to me is an evolving organism. I mean, organization is, I think, gone are the days where, you had a big factory and you would get employed in a company and you would be there for whole of your life. And the company will have a set business model and nothing is changing. That's a force of nature. So we can do whatever we want to. We cannot go against the force of nature. I don't know of anyone who has not changed or evolved in life. I think we have been able to, reinvent and recreate ourselves every 2 or 3 years. And what I have realized to know is, or rather what I have learned over the period of years is, that is the most beautiful part of an entrepreneurial journey, where you get a chance to rechristen, reskill, modify yourself every year, every 2 years. And the learning is intense and it is a very fast process. I was reading somewhere that every 7 years, each and every cell of your body gets transformed. So, just as a physiological process, forget about, our emotional evolution. As a physiological process, the fact that, we are physiological beings which have some biochemical reactions happening inside us. So every 7 years, each cell of our body gets changed because of our interaction with the environment. So the fact that our body is changing, and if our mind cannot change, but if your mind cannot evolve, I think we are doing disservice to the whole natural Darwinian theory, I would say. So as individuals, I think change is must, and it is what makes us different than any other species. Some people, that process might be very ambiguous or unsettling for some people, understandable, but the only thing is that that's something which you should expect now, in from now onwards, or at least from last 5 years. That is a constant. The only constant I can tell you that I have experienced, and which is because of my experience in the past and what I see in the future, is that change is the only constant you will see in life.
Okay, Tarun, thank you very much. And we'll send you email, and I'm also sharing your Amazon store to the people. Let's go and buy. I think you have a lot of audience here. Thank you, really, really. Thank you very much.
Thank you.